Good morning, everybody. This is Trisha with Turpinoff Photography. We are coming into you with Listen, Learn, and Leverage. This is where we expose your blind spots and help you grow your entrepreneurial business. This morning, we have a true treat with Miss Ann Bennett. She is a brand profit builder, and I'm super excited to have. She's actually my brand profit builder. So, Ann, tell us a little more about what that means.
Well, I think, Trish, people think that branding is like, let's just do a logo and a tagline, right? And
Right.
that's okay. There are people that specialize in that. I personally work on really what it takes to position you in the marketplace so that people see you, that you're unique, that you have your own language. So we're working not only on the brand as we traditionally think of it, but also on all the pieces of the messaging, how you can really, like, you and I have done head whipping hooks and
Yeah.
different things that grab attention so that you can stand out and people want to really work with you. So that's actually what we do. And people are doubling and tripling their income right now. So I'm really excited about it.
It is exciting because even though we've only worked about a third of your program together, like the way that I talk about my business has got so much more breadth and it sounds more profound. And that's what everybody wants in their business. They want to be the person that is thought of as the only person in the marketplace.
Right.
And so tell me, what do you think the biggest mistake is that women make when they're building their brand?
I think essentially people don't take the time to really understand or to dig. It's more of a horizontal. We're very good at like, let's put out all sorts of information or let's do all this stuff. Because we're
Right.
just, as entrepreneurs, we want to go from, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. That's our whole thing. And so I'm always like, slow down, slow
Right.
down. And you're like, oh my God. So, it's really about going deeply into, what you care about. I always say what pisses you off and what breaks your heart. And look at that 1% of your personality style is actually what separates you from all the other branders, from all the other photographers, from all the other people out there. And as you know, as we work on your brand, it's elevating, it's bringing you elevation from or up leveling out of photography, as
Right.
there's a million of you, right? Or
Right.
like branding, there's a million of me. And how do you distinguish your gifts, your specific gifts that you have, that you've, a lot of it, we come in that way. I believe we come in with gifts and purpose when we pop out of the womb, and then it's, we forget. So
Right.
then it's remembering who we actually are. So it's taking the time to actually do those types of, I do a lot of writing exercises with people, or we create within a conversation together and come upon a lot of these unique characteristics.
Right. I absolutely agree. And I agree with the patience. I don't like to be patient, but I have learned, well, who does, right?
No
I
one.
mean, I know it's like humans weren't wired for patience. It's like it's like a 4-letter word, right?
Yeah, it really
But
is. We're like, what? Let's take action, 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 action.
exactly, but it is that point where you slow down and ask yourself, am I putting the right message out in the world? Am I saying what I really want to say and really who I am? Like you said, like we forget who we really are because we've got to learn to talk to ourselves nicer and really get our mindset together before we could do work with you. Wouldn't you agree?
Well, I think part of the work that we do together, and yes, I do agree, mindset is the most important aspect of building a business, because the strategies and tactics are not as successful. You're not going to get the result if you're not getting result that you really want, and you're doing all the strategies and tactics that different people are telling you to do, and you're like, well,
Mhm.
where's, I'm so tired of pretending. Where's my happy ending? It's like if you're feeling that way, mostly
Right.
what that is your brand and your message are not resonating with who you
Right.
are and who your clients are. So
Right.
that's kind of where we go to work. I have a lot of people that come to me with like books and programs, and they got websites, and they've worked with other people that have done some good things for them, but they're like, Where's my money?
Right.
Where's my clients? Where's my consistent income? And
Right.
it's because they've done things what I consider out of order of
Ah,
actually building um, a sustainable business.
that makes a ton of sense. That was my next question is what's the best way to attract those clients and, create visibility for your business? And it's going in order, isn't it?
It is in a way because a lot of us, like what we're saying, we want to run to the end game. We want to, oh, I want all my videos to be like Marie Forleo, and I want to be that cool, and I want to be all that, and us, all that in a box of crackers. But the thing is, she's been doing that 20 years, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
Second of all, when you dial back and look at everybody when they started, they look just like we look when we're starting. I mean,
Ex-
everyone starts at the same place. So
Right.
it is something to consider. That's when the mindset, the idea that, oh, I should know how to do this, or I've taken a couple courses, I should have this mastered. I mean, I've
No.
been doing this 10 years, okay? And there's so much more to know. There's so
Oh,
much more. And it's
absolutely.
just part of the process of staying in. I'm a lifelong learner. So it's like just growing and growing and growing. Like, I don't know if I told you, but I just got my NLP.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Congrats.
just I just got my NLP
That's
practitioner's
exciting.
certificate. So that what drove me to that really was I see my clients struggling with the things that I give them to do, right? The whole activity of like
Exactly.
write some stories about yourself, or all this stuff comes up for them. Um, it's like being in a relationship. You're fine by yourself. Everything's good. I'm so cool. It's all happening. I'm really hot and sexy. And then you get in a relationship and you're like, oh, oh my God, all this stuff comes up. Same thing with a business, right? It actually
Right.
is like a relationship. So when you're doing new things, you're going to
Right.
be apprehensive, scared. There's going to be resistance. All these things are going to come up. And how do you navigate that? How do you
Right.
navigate it? I had a client call me recently. We're working on a signature talk. She's I took her through, my renegade signature talk system.
Right. It's
So she's
awesome.
got all that. And she's like, I'm so scared when I get in front of people. I'm really animated. I'm an extrovert. Normally I'm
Oh my
not.
gosh.
So,
Right.
me, because you see me at home. I could be very quiet. Yeah.
Yes.
So people don't think that, because for me, when I'm on camera or I'm on stage, it's showtime, so
Right.
I have this personality that I allow that personality to come out. But for her, she was like, can you give me some coaching on how do I ground myself? What do I say to myself before I go on stage? How do I bring my energy into focus so I'm
Right.
not all scattered and weirded out by my my system, my emotional system has gone off.
Right.
And it's the thing about mindset and doing the inner work is it gives you an opportunity to actually use your biology
Right.
instead of having your biology use you.
Totally.
So most of us, we live in a world where our biology uses us. Our dopamine goes off. We're knee jerk reaction that goes off, and in an instant we're angry, or an instant we're frustrated, or all these different things happen. And until
Right.
you can actually understand, or at least take a breath
Right.
before you respond, take a breath and relax and slow down. Once again, the idea of slowing down
Yeah.
to
We don't
really
like
be
that.
able to, yeah, no, to hear. Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite expressions. Oh, yeah, no. Um, so yeah, I mean, all of that goes into it. It's the same thing when I work with my clients who are building their brand, their message, signature talks, programs, all this stuff. It all comes back to you. Like, how they always say, oh, it's your clients and solving their problem. Yes and
Yes.
no.
Right. Yeah. What goes on between here is really, really important.
Yeah, the 6
Right.
inches, really, really important.
It is. Well, and the thing is that you're right. Like you said, we want to go to 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And the problem is people don't think that building from the ground up is sexy, but I think that's the sexiest part is the foundation, because that's where you really learn to emote your true essence.
Well, I think it takes us, again, it takes us slowing down. It takes managing your expectation of, oh, yeah, I have a lot of clients that come to me that are making under six figures. And they're like, oh, yeah, I want to make $500,000 this year. And I'm like, really? How much are you making now? And they're like,
40,
20K or something.
20.
Yeah, they're not making much. And not that it's not possible. Okay. It's definitely possible. However, it's more like that's all in your mindset. That's all in the things that you know and the things you don't know. Most of the time, there's things we know and things we don't know. And then there's all those things that we don't know, we don't know.
Right.
Those are
That,
the things that bite you in the ass, okay?
they,
The things that you don't know that you don't know that are in your blind spot that come up like the
right.
dragon, I
Yes.
always say to my clients, you're either gonna, some days you ride the dragon, most days the dragon rides you. And that's just what it's like as you are expanding your capacity
Right.
to be resilient.
Exactly.
Because
I always
80,
say, go ahead.
80% of the time you're going to be in failure mode. Like, no one likes to say failure. I'm just like, it's hard work and there's failure. Okay. But people like to call it, feedback. But that makes you feel
Yeah.
better. I'm okay with that.
Whatever word it is, whatever word, to me, failure is a learning experience. That
Yeah.
didn't go so well. It's not necessarily failure. It depends on how you take it. I always like to take it as a learning lesson. Well, that marketing plan didn't go the way that we wanted. Let's tweak it and make it better,
Yeah.
not let's give up on it.
Yes.
That's failure.
Correct and continue is really how to run
Ooh, oh,
a business.
yep,
When you fail is when you stop. When
exactly.
you
I love
decide
that.
I'm just throwing in the towel, I'm not moving forward. I think the biggest thing with entrepreneurs is you're developing your risk.
Right.
Being able to take risks and being able to trust yourself are
Yeah.
the two things. A lot of times people don't trust themselves to either
Right.
A, invest $200 and make 20,000, or at least double your money, right? You
Right.
want to think about every time I buy a $20 book, I make $200. So to me, I'm not spending money. I'm learning something
Right.
and then I'm teaching something. And from the book that I'm learning from, I'm
Right.
turning that around. I could be making $2,000 from
Right.
a $20 purchase. So it's a different way, like you were talking about reframing, failure as a learning experience. My father was a high school principal, so everything was a learning experience. The whole thing was like life is about learning and earning and
My
learning
God.
and earning, and
That's
I
so
think,
cute.
yeah, I think that, it's something that a lot of us are coming out of corporate, or we're coming out of
Oh,
careers and jobs. So the structure of that is like, you've been playing football. Okay. Now we're going to ice skate. It's a
yeah,
very, very different arena. Different
it
things you need to
is.
learn about how, sales, marketing. What is my brand? What is my message?
Right.
How can I networking? When I first went
Right.
networking, I was wearing a Armani suit, okay, and nobody remembered me. I don't know what that woman does. I have no idea. As soon as I started relaxing into my personality, basically wearing my own clothes,
Yeah.
closet, instead of, in Orange County, so there's a particular look, and it's not my style particularly. So instead of trying to fit into that, I was like, oh no, I'm going to be wearing leather pants, or I'm going to be wearing whatever
I love it.
jackets and things like that. Um, so it's about really, what are the quirky aspects of my personality,
Right.
which you're very good at tapping into with your clients, right? What are the things that are unusual
Yeah.
about me? And a lot of times people don't think they're unusual, which
They
we
just
are
think they're fun.
unusual. We are all of us are unusual. We all have an aspect of something that is different that would fascinate another person? Like with
Exactly.
your focus on vintage, for instance.
Yeah.
Like, not everybody is like that, and it's kind of cool because I know when you and I go shopping, we're gonna like find some really cool, heart-shaped glasses or whatever it is, right?
That's right. Well, you know what? That really leads me into, since we're talking about this, that leads me into your archetypes, which are one of the coolest things I think you've ever done. Tell everybody about
Thank
your
you.
4 archetypes and how do they fit into those?
Yeah, so I have these, we have this desire as a human being, a deep desire to understand ourselves better. So there's astrology and there's numerology, and now there's, uh, all these different personality tests and all this stuff.
Right.
And I was like, how could I make branding like something that's simple and easy and fun to get people started in the process, right? So
Right.
I created these, what I call brand archetypes, the renegade brand archetype cards. I have the oversized ones here.
I love those.
These are really fun. So,
They are.
a nurturer, a disruptor, an innovator, or a geek. And everybody falls into these 4 classifications. And people are like, well, I'm more than one. And I'm like, okay, people, it's a brand. You've got to choose a direction, what you want people to think about you, and how you want to show up. Otherwise, people will think whatever they think, right?
Right.
Not really controlling the conversation. If you're like, ta-da, I'm like, it's like people that have a million jobs, or a million different businesses. Hi,
Right.
I'm like a real estate agent and I sell doTERRA. And then on the side, I'm a massage therapist. You're like, no, thank you. It's just like a turn off, right?
You're like, whoa, whoa, you're overwhelmed.
Yeah, it's like they can't figure you out. We in our mind, we want to label everything. And the reason we do that is we have about, I don't know, it's something really crazy like 200,000 bits of information are coming at you every day. And the
Right.
brain can do about 120.
Oh,
So
wow.
it's trying to simplify. So that's why we label and we move things. So we're like, oh, Trisha, yeah, I know her. Here, this is a personality. Da, 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 that's who she is, right? Not good or bad. I mean, you're a lot more than that, right? So
Right.
people are like, well, I'm so much
Int-
more. And I'm like, yeah, but we want to position you in a unique way in the marketplace. So when you can choose, like, say you're a nurturer, I happen to know you are. Now, some people are in nurturing careers. So they're like, oh, yeah, I'm a nurturer because I'm a therapist or because I'm health and wellness or because I'm a massage therapist. And not necessarily, not
Right.
necessarily. Like, I know a lot of people in those arenas that are more like the disruptor personality style, which is more
Interesting.
sassy and active and full of freedom and fun and excitement, kind of like me, like the
Yes.
peacock, so
That's
to
who you,
speak. And the
yeah.
nurturer is more like, there's somebody who you just want to hug them. You just want to be like, oh my God, there they are. And I feel so safe. And, it's just those kinds of people. And people have sometimes are hard time seeing which characteristic they are because you can't really see your own eyebrows. Let's face it.
Right.
So one
Exactly.
of the things you can do is ask other people how they perceive you. Like when I walk into a room, no one's going, there's a nurturing love puppy. Even though, I do have that aspect,
You
right?
do.
But that's not what I lead with because that's not what people see.
Right.
So you want to be careful in this arena where you're talking about brand and what is my brand expression, my brand voice.
Right.
Um, and to really look into your values and what you
Yeah.
ultimately care about. So the cards are just a way of allowing an identification
Yeah.
in a very simple way. And then you can use them to like, well, what should my messaging sound like? What should my
Mm.
photographs look like? I know you and I have talked about this a
Yeah.
lot. What should, my colors that express that aspect of my brand voice, what should that look like? What should my program names be?
Right.
What should all these things, come into play, but instead
Right.
people run ahead And they're like, oh, my programs were called Sapphire, Gold, and Diamond. I'm like, yeah, you and like 100 million people before you. Okay.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, not that that's bad. It's just not branded to you. So
Right.
when people hear it, for me, everyone, as soon as everybody hears rebel, renegade, or revolutionary, they know it's my stuff,
Right.
different than another branding person who has a different way of naming who they are, right? It also gives you an
Exactly.
opportunity to make taglines, um, titles for yourself. We were talking about titles earlier. Well,
Right.
what's your title? So
Right.
that you can be identified in the market.
Absolutely.
And all
Well,
of that,
and
of course, you can charge more money.
well, there's that. That is never bad.
Mhm.
I say yes to that. I mean, we are all in business to make money. And the best way to do that is, like you said, start at the beginning and go forward. It is funny. I've talked to a lot of people who are starting out who they just want to go to marketing. I go, stop. I go, don't spend any more time or effort on marketing until you understand what your brand is. It's like you can't go.
It's challenging, it's kind of
It
like
is.
coffee and cream. So, coffee is more like that's the message. How do I talk about myself? That's the coffee part. The
Right.
cream is the distinguishing factor. So that's more like the brand. Like, how much cream do you take? Do you like
Yeah,
your coffee milky? Like I do. I like lattes, so mostly it's milk. Or
yep,
do you like espresso? You know,
exactly.
totally black. So I think people don't understand branding. They're starting to get it because we're in this overcrowded marketplace and now we're all online,
Yes,
which makes it even crazier, right? There's more of us
exactly.
doing videos and doing all these things, but ineffectively.
Right.
Unfortunately, you can do a lot of video, but without a message, without a brand,
Yeah.
you're just a talking whatever. You're flipping, man.
But yeah.
You have 3 seconds to capture
Oh,
somebody's curiosity.
right. Yeah.
Very
There's just,
important.
well, what would you say is was your most difficult, like what was the most difficult or challenge, I should say, of you building your business, and what kind of recommendation would you give people?
Well, I didn't know anything about business. Truthfully, there's no MBA in my closet. Okay.
No,
Um,
you'd been a writer for a long time for a lot of very popular magazines, and Vogue was
yeah.
one of them.
Yeah. I worked
So,
at Vogue, actually, not so much writing, although I did write headlines and things like that, more laying out the magazine or
yeah.
art directing photography, like being
Ooh. Mhm.
being with the photographers and concepts
Right.
and ideas. That's why you and I work together so well, right? It's
Yeah,
like we're just bouncing ideas off of each other,
totally.
because I've had a long history of doing that. But I
Right.
think I would say ultimately there's a set of things you have to learn, right? So if you can understand, I have a thing I give away a lot of times, which is the levels of business, what you
Yeah.
should do and what you should not do at each level of business based on how much money you're making. So a lot of people are like, well, I'm making, $3,000 a month, so I'm going to do a Facebook ad campaign. And I'm like, oh no. Oh, no, 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 no. So, that's why people don't get to six figures and mid six figures is they're doing things out of order. So that's the
Right.
first thing. You really want to understand, oh, I'm at the beginning of my business. So
Right.
I'm going to be fluxed up. I'm going to be in flux. It's going to
Well,
be testing and trying and learning about myself and learning about my clients and learning about what
right.
really the problem I actually solve. Right? It
Right.
takes some time in that arena to figure all of that out.
It
Really,
does.
and I think for me, ultimately, it's not, Trish, it's not the strategies and tactics. Those things are learnable. You can Google it even,
Right.
and get all this info that you want. Ultimately, it's implementing and falling on your face and jumping up and going, that was fun. Let's do it again. It's like sometimes I didn't bounce as well as I do, but I think it's a learning process, as we were talking about. learning about being really aware of what you say to yourself, first of all.
Yeah.
The conversations in your mind are probably your worst enemy. And learning how to really change that, learning how
Yeah.
to go, okay, I'm learning. Like some of my people in my group program, they're like, I should be so good at this. And I'm like, really? Do you remember learning to ride a bicycle?
Right.
Like first there was the training wheels and it was very tippy. And then at one point the training wheels came off and your dad was holding the seat of the bike. At least
Yeah.
my dad would run along the side and
Right.
hold the bike upright. And at some point he just let go and you
Yeah.
were pedaling or
Yes.
falling or whatever you were doing. But essentially you just are like this. And
Right.
people think that building a business, they should just like know how to do it. And
Yeah.
it's I can be really funny. I can be like, oh, that's easy, I can do that. I can be like that, right? So which gets me into a little bit of trouble sometimes. But that being said, I am very tenacious, so I usually end up landing on my feet. But the thing is that it's all an inner game ultimately. It's
It
the
is.
inner development, it's your inner capacity that reflects to the outside world uh, the result, the clients, the money, all those things that are a result of your effort, right?
Yes.
So it's a very, and learning how to give up struggle for me was probably my biggest challenge because I'm
Really?
very, you know,
Yeah. You're scrappy.
oh, there's a challenge, great, you know, it's hard, oh yeah, watch me go, you know. I had to learn um yes, there's a kinder, gentler way to do things, right? You can
Yes.
actually be more in flow, or you can actually
Right.
be patient, which, as we know, is not one of my strong suits.
No.
But
Nobody's.
and learn to ask. I think that was the biggest thing for me. Asking for
Yeah.
help or asking
Yes.
who knows somebody who can help me.
Exactly. I mean, well, in both of our journeys, our coaches that we've hired have helped us immensely. And when
Mhm.
you do the work, oh my gosh, the things that open up for you, it's amazing.
It's extraordinary.
It's extraordinary. And
Yeah.
I think you hit a nail on the head when you said, ask for help. I think so many people are like, no, I don't want to hire a coach. I don't need them because I can do it myself. But
Well,
yeah.
and that is the most expensive way to do something,
Oh my gosh. Yeah. What is it?
figuring
Sandra.
it out on your own.
Oh my gosh. Well, what is it? Sandra Yancey says you're going to pay one way or the other
Yes.
because you're going to pay with all your time and effort and not get very far, or you can pay a coach and like just take off.
Yeah, I agree. You know, both you and I have more than, usually I have more than one coach. Right now I have like 3 coaches.
Whew.
So, it's because they specialize in
Yes,
different things that I need support in. So,
exactly.
it's a very, I'm just a hot mess like everybody else.
Everybody else.
One coach said to me one time, and I totally agree these days, 80% of the time she fails, and 20% of the time she hits it out of the park and
Right.
she's, making millions. So I
Yeah.
think, it's a perspective, it's an
Yeah.
understanding that you're going to be stretching and changing and growing. And
Right.
that's going to require that you're not good at it.
Yeah.
You're not good at
Absolutely.
it.
And that's why you hire coaches, because they make you better at things, or they help you, like my social media advisor helps me be better at social media, but I don't have to do all of it. I mean, I have
Yeah,
to
they
participate.
shortcut. They actually shortcut the process
Yes.
because they are an expert in that field, or they've done it so much more than you have that, they can go around, go
Yes, go
around.
around. Yes,
You know, don't
exactly.
keep hitting your head against the wall, which
Stop
we have
it.
a tendency to do. I have a
Right.
really good friend who is a comedy writer for like Ellen DeGeneres, and she had this joke, you know, misery loves company. You can look at a fly paper strip and you don't see the flies going, go around, go around. So I think, we're all like, and people think, oh, if I follow someone who's built an online business, my business is going to look like theirs. Or if
No.
I follow someone who's a great speaker, my speaking business is going to look like theirs. And nothing could be further from the truth.
Right.
It is
Exactly.
not, there are certain structures. I don't believe in like formulas, and I do believe in systems because I know they work and you can
Right.
repeat them. But when it comes to mastering something, a
Right.
masterpiece is not created out of a formula. Like it's
Mhm.
not paint by numbers. Okay.
Right.
We all want it
Exactly.
to be that simple, paint by number. And then I have a really beautiful portrait, right? That's
Right.
different than a, a masterpiece.
Right.
And they're very different things. And so when I work with people, I give them some of the paint by number because it makes us
Right.
feel safe, right? We're like, oh, I have a structure and we're going to
Right.
walk through this. And at the end, I'm going to be guaranteed, a result like
Right.
whatever, 6 figures or whatever it is that you're looking for, at least an understanding of running my business. And that's
Right.
great.
Yes.
And to really skyrocket, to really go above and beyond into what appears to be impossible, that takes creativity. That takes a different
Absolutely.
mastery of the subject. So
Right.
I can get people so far in just like, I have different groups of people I work with. So some of
Right.
my people, it's like you're going paint by number, right? And others, I can talk to them in more abstracted concepts and ideas because they have more of a sophistication in their business. They can
Right.
understand, they can take something that I say and run
Right.
and make it happen. Where
Right.
my folks that are more less developed or
Yeah. They're just
starting
beginners.
out, they just
Yeah.
don't have the same capacity to understand
Right.
essentially what I'm talking about. So I talk to them in a particular way. And then I talk to my more advanced people. I don't
Right.
really talk to them. They're running around. I'm saying one or two things. They're like, okay, got it. Bye. Oh, stop talking. I got to go implement.
You're so silly. Oh my gosh. That's funny. Well, speaking of, you spoke of this earlier, the head whipping hook.
Mhm.
And tell the audience what's so important about a head whipping hook.
The thing about what you have to realize, we are so distracted. I mean, now more than ever.
Oh yeah.
We have digital dementia. I used to think it was my age until the 22-year-olds in my gym can't remember anything either. And I'm like, oh, guess what? It's because we have smartphones and we don't have to use our brain.
Right.
So we all are in overwhelm. The reason we're in overwhelm is, again, so much information,
Right.
marketing messages coming in your inbox every day, and it's
Oh,
only going to
every
get
minute.
worse. Yeah, every minute, as you know. I
Yep.
look over my inbox is like 5, and I look over again, it's like 50, and I look over again, it's 500. It's
Exactly.
crazy, right? And our development in science and technology is moving very, very, very quickly.
Oh,
So much quicker than it ever has before in history. So we are completely in overwhelm, and we're like looking to block everything out. So head whipping hooks are things that cause a person, it interrupt. It's called a head whipping hook because it does do that. If you do it right, people are like, what?
oh, totally.
Yeah. So it's like it's something to interrupt the conversation as normal and move people into what I call surprise and delight, hearing something they have not heard or said in a particular way it has not been said before, so that they stop for at least 3 seconds
Right.
to go, oh, that was interesting. That was a little bit different. Oh, I want
Right.
to know a little bit more about what this person is doing. And then you
Right.
bring your value right behind it. Because a hook in and of itself is it's like it's like the cherry on top of the sundae, and
Right.
the sundae is all the foundational stuff and all the things that you actually do for your
Right.
client. but you want to catch their attention. And so a
Right.
head whipping hook is the thing that actually does that.
That's awesome.
And
Well,
we've worked together on them, so I know that you have a couple in your
yes.
pocket.
Well, I have one main one, which was when I get you in front of my lens, you're going to gain cash, clients, and clout. Or sometimes I say when I get you in front of my camera, you gain cash, client, and clouts. It just kind of depends on the day when whatever my mind lets me push out.
Yeah, which is nice because it's not right or wrong. Nothing is right or wrong, guys. It
Right.
works or it doesn't work.
Right.
It
Oh,
doesn't work so well, right?
I
So
tell you that does work though. I mean, whenever I say that, I've been on Zoom mostly, obviously, haven't we all? And
mhm,
most of the time, people are like, ha ha ha, clout. I like that. I mean, it's funny that people just don't hear that word very much.
right.
And
It's an
so,
older word and it works really good for you
totally.
for a number of reasons. One, you're really into vintage.
Yes.
So you're into that sound, and clout has a sound to
Yes.
it. It's like pop or
Yeah.
bang. People like remember that.
Yes.
So the other thing about those things is their alliteration. A lot of times the hooks are alliteration. So I always call on, my inner Dr. Seuss to pop out with something that rhymes, or it's P words,
Right.
things
Yes.
like
Well,
that.
tell us one of yours. What's your favorite one?
Oh my God. Well,
Or
the one that I've used for years is it's smart to fit in, but it's brilliant and profitable to stand out. So
yep, I
just
love that one.
when you say it, I don't have to say too much else about what I do. I'm
No.
telling you in that sentence what I actually do for you. So
Yes.
that's one of the things that you want to think about too when you're making a tagline. Or my other tagline on my website is liberate your rebel spirit, rake in the revenue.
I love that one too.
So it has to do with be a rebel, be a renegade, be
Right.
yourself
Right.
essentially, and make a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of, those are my philosophies on what I do when I work with my clients as well.
I love that. Well, and I love, say the name of your talk, the one that has Madonna in it.
Oh, brand brilliantly, market like Madonna, and profit like a rock star. So I have a new one.
Oh, you do?
Brand, well, I like to play with them. So I've had that
Yeah.
signature talk for
Yeah.
years. That was my
It
very
has-
first
It's so
signature
good.
talk. I think my first one was titled something like "Get Clients in Cash and Have More Fun" or something like that. I
No.
mean, yeah, it's like iterate along the way, right? You're iterating
Right.
and growing, and you're creating, iterate to
Oh,
awesome. So I
totally.
think uh, the other one I thought, well, everyone's heard that one. So how about brand like Beyonce, market like Madonna, and go gold like Gaga?
Oh, that's good.
And I was like,
Yeah,
that's hysterical. So
that is
you
hysterical.
want to have a title that either tells the person how to, right? So my
Right.
my new title is Get Unruly and Get Rich,
Oh, yeah.
how to make money being unapologetically you.
I
So if
love
you
that.
if you have a catchy line that doesn't exactly tell people what you're going to do, then you want to put how to
Ooh,
as your tag so
I
that
like,
it tells people, they know, oh, we're going to talk about, being unapologetically myself and making money. Cool. That
who
sounds
does?
like fun. And who doesn't want to do that, right?
Right. Sign me up. I love that. Head whipping hooks are fun. Well,
Super
tell
fun.
us, what do you have to offer our guests today? Because I know you have a
Really
awesome.
cool. This really cool. It's like a little mini program.
Ooh,
It's like you get worksheets and you get questions and things like that.
dang,
So
man.
it's how to create a client getting brand, 3 tweaks to create a client getting brand. And I think we
Nice.
have the
I
link
put
to
the
that
video
for
in.
people.
Hmm.
And
I,
that will get you started on what are my quirks, what am I really good at, what am I so good at and I don't charge for it.
oh, you're good at bringing those things out.
Yeah, so it has those questions, power words, um, those kind of questions, and it gives people opportunity to dig a little deeper into the work that we do together.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I have to tell you, it's been awesome having you as my guide through this because it's funny, the thing, it's all two heads are really always better than one. It's like
Mhm.
I know who I am, expressing it in a way that's unique is really your gift. You
Mhm.
know, you helping me be more me. It's
Is that
it's totally,
possible?
I don't know. I think
Yes,
it is.
I
Well,
think
it
it
is
is actually
verbal.
for all of us.
Yeah, it is because I can write, but you can write. I mean, you
Mhm.
like get into the guts of people and really put that out there. And so I think thank you for giving this away. That's really awesome because the more that we can dig into ourselves, the more we can get our true essence out there for people to really understand and go, oh, I get that person. I want to work with them because that's how I feel, or that's who I am.
Yeah, there's an identity that happens, a connection that happens. And
Yeah.
of course, there's a disconnect. And when there's that's great too. I mean, I tell people
Yeah.
brand is like it attracts your people and repels everybody else.
Right, right. Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about that as a great thing to talk. I mean, it is funny because it is so evident when I talk to people on the phone, they're a nice person. It's obvious when they're not my person.
Mhm.
Like there's just a banter that happens when they're my person. Like we can hardly like stop talking. It's one of those things where
Yeah.
both of us are so excited. I always know that's my person. And and again, not everybody's going to be our person, but it's really easy to identify it when you really have a strong brand because, well, and you don't want to serve everyone.
No, I don't.
I don't. I just want to serve the people who want to have fun and grow their brand.
Mhm.
And so do you.
Yeah, I think
And
it's
make more money.
it's yeah, it's all about understanding that you are the person for specific people.
Yeah,
And I can refer out, right, to everybody else that's not really my person. And
totally.
I think that it's important because that way you get to work with people that believe what you believe and
Right.
are really aligned with you. So it makes the working together, that synergy you were talking about, Trisha, just
Yeah.
explodes. Where when you're with a resistance or someone who doesn't get you, it's like I said, I gave up struggle, so it's been a challenge
Yeah.
for me because I'm like, but that struggle goes away because people are working together. There isn't
Right.
so much resistance.
No, there's no resistance.
Yeah. And that's
And
what makes it magical.
it is because they just want to learn and they want to try new things. And so, it's like
Yeah.
everything. Some things work, some things don't, but they're in it to really go for it.
Mhm.
I do love that. Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that. That was really powerful. Well, thank you, Miss Anne. Of course, it's always a
My
pleasure.
pleasure. My
Oh my gosh,
pleasure.
just
It's an honor
I'm
and a
just
privilege.
right back at you. Well, we're going to say goodbye to Anne today, but thank you for tuning in to Listen, Learn, and Leverage. This is where we help you grow your entrepreneurial business by exposing your little blind spots. So I hope Anne exposed. Wow. I like had a stroke. I just had a stroke and none of you came over to help me. No, I'm just kidding. we're gonna we're gonna sign off, but I'm gonna try to say expose one more time. But I hope that you learned about some of your blind spots in branding. And of course, our brand profit builder expert, Miss Anne Bennett. Thank you again. Mwah.
Thank you,
We
Trish.
will talk soon.